stops ringing.
There we go.
And then I have to start speaking, and it goes a long time. Good morning, and welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. My name is Pastor Erik Halseth. I use he, they pronouns, and welcome to everyone here in the sanctuary and to everyone on Zoom. Whether you've been attending this church for decades or it's your first time here, I'm glad you have joined us. This community is the special place that it is precisely because it is made up of people with many beliefs, identities, origins, sexualities, and genders, and all are welcome here. Oh, and since I haven't done so in a while, and as a perfect segue into announcements, this is just a reminder that we have a section of seats over here on your right for folks who would prefer to wear and be seated around others who are wearing masks. Announcements. Okay, so today we're going to try something new during Time for All Ages, time for this story for the children and all of us. And during the sermon, I have a clicker. Hey! It's not time for the chalice lighting yet. I am not controlling the slideshow except for in those sections. We will see how it goes. There's a board meeting this Thursday. Look in on the website or in the announcements in your email to find out the where and when. But you are welcome to show up. It's on Zoom. CUPS is having a meeting. That's the Covenant of UU Pagans is having a meeting on fourth Monday of the month, which will be a week from tomorrow, at 10 a.m. on Zoom. Look for the Zoom address to come in your email or in the announcements this week. They're also having a new class for new folks at their regular meeting, second Thursdays, that'll be June 11th at 7 p.m. in the conference room or on Zoom. Parents' Night Out and Movie Night takes place on Friday, May 29th. This month, they're going to watch Hoppers, a Disney Pixar adventure about caring for our world. Everyone is welcome, and you don't have to drop off children. You can just come watch the movie. And RSVP if you help to help everybody plan for snacks and supervision. Saturday, May 30th, the next day, is the San Ynez Chumash Museum trip. Join the group to explore Chumash history, art, and living traditions. There's a discount on admission. It's up in San Ynez. I'm sure it is going to be a beautiful day and a wonderful trip. And then the next day after that, the 31st of May, this is coming up soon, is Reverend Carolyn Bierke's ordination at the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. So if you want to go to that, it'll be at 2 p.m. Please RSVP at the link in UUCV this week, our email newsletter. Again, like last week, I said stewardship. I'm done talking about it. Please give. Albeit the sermon had some stuff in it about that kind of thing, I think, if I remember correctly. Lots of people turned in their pledges this week. It was fabulous. So again, I'm not going to say anything. Just keep doing what you're doing and turn in your pledge if you haven't already. And speaking of which, after the service today, Joe Osborne is going to speak to us about where we are in terms of budget planning and present kind of a pro forma budget so that we can all be prepared for the annual meeting that is happening in about 4 weeks. And again, Jen's last day was the 13th of May, although she will be here tomorrow again. So if you want to stop by, you get one more chance. There may be others. And I don't know if, there's Gina. Gina should have cards for you to sign in Berg Hall after the service. And you can donate cash or check as a gift for Jen, or you can always give her a gift on your own if you want, especially if you stop by to see her tomorrow. And as always, please read UUCV this week for more information. Our land acknowledgement lifts up the Chumash of Mitzconacan, now known as Ventura, and Saatkiktoy, Satakoy, I think is what that is, the next closest village to our east. And so There we are. We've added another one. Who have stewarded their ancestral and unceded territory for at least the last 11,000 years. This service takes place on land only a few miles from either Chumash village. We honor the Chumash of Mitsconacon and Saatacoy, as well as other historic Chumash locations in Ventura County, including the ancestors, elders, and descendants, as they continue their deep spiritual and cultural connections to these lands and waters. When we enter into sacred space, we trust each other. When we enter into sacred space, we balance mission with reality. When we enter into sacred space, we discern a path for all to rise together. This is sacred space. May it be so.
Good morning. I am Worship Associate Xenia Young, and these words are from the Oberlin UU Fellowship in Oberlin, Ohio. We light the chalice this morning to find inner peace, love for one another, and faith in ourselves. Also, to be welcoming to whomever we meet and kind to all living creatures. So gather around this light of hope as we share this time together. And friends at home are invited to light a candle as Joy and Luciano light ours here in the sanctuary. Thank you. Well done. Our call to worship this morning comes from the Talmud. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. Come, let us worship together.
Well, good morning, y'all. I'm Zach Spencer. I invite you all to rise in spirit or in body as you're able. As we all sing, "There's a River Flowing in My Soul," number 1007.
now I would like to invite all of our young folks or young at heart to join me for a story. Gather up the donations for Ride Alliance 805 and Poder Popular as you come to the front. So for all the kids who have missed having any pictures up on the screen, we have them today, and we have a lot of them. And for everyone out there. Today's story is a Peruvian folktale, The Llama's Secret, adapted from an adaptation by Argentina Palacios. Long ago, in the high mountains of Peru, a family lived with their llama. The llama was strong and gentle, and every day he helped carry food like quinoa, corn, and other crops along the steep mountain paths to sell in town. But one morning, the llama would not eat. The family brought him fresh ishu, the yummy mountain grass found in Andean meadows, but he turned away from it. "Eat, Yamacha, we have a long walk to the Katu to sell our crops," the family implored. "The ishu is fresh. Kawe, eat, it's good," the kids said as they put ishu in their mouth. That's the grass. And they chewed it as a demonstration for the llama. They tried everything, but the llama only stood still, looking toward the mountains with worried eyes. The family conferred and made a decision. Tomorrow, take him to the upper meadow where the freshest grass and water can be found. The next morning, the father led the llama to the upper meadow where the grass was green and sweet and the water flowed right from the edge of a glacier into a small lake. "Eat and drink," said the father. "You must keep up your strength." The father did this every day for most of a week, and still the llama would not eat. "Eat or you won't survive," he implored on the 5th day of this. But the llama just moaned. "Een, een," louder and louder. Do you want me to do it louder?
Yes, 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 yes.
Een, een. And then tears started rolling down its face. With his patience gone, the father put his hand on his head and said, "What am I going to do with my crops if my llama is just going to cry and moan?" At that, the llama looked at the father, who jumped back thinking that the llama was going to spit at him, because that's what llamas do if they're annoyed. But instead of spitting, the llama started talking. "Father," the llama said, "I cannot eat or drink. I am too sad." "What could possibly make you so sad you cannot eat?" "A great flood is coming. Soon the water will cover the valleys and the villages and end all that you know. You must gather your family and climb to the highest mountain, Huilcacoto." "How do you learn of this, Yamacha?" "Mama Cocha, the mother of the waters, warned me. A flood is coming," Yamacha said. And then the llama took a bite of grass. The father was frightened, but he trusted the llama. He hurried home and told the family what the llama had said. "The llama talks," said the mother. "You've been cooking in the mountain sun." The children laughed when she said that, but then they all looked at his face and realized he was telling the truth. So the family packed up only what they needed and started walking toward Huilcacoto. As they went, the llama called to the animals, Come, come to the mountain. The waters are rising. The first animals that followed them were the guanacos, but it took a while since the guanacos just stared at the talking llama like a deer in headlights. Then the flamingos took to the air when the llama called to them. More and more animals began following the llama. The birds flew upward, the deer ran, the snakes slipped over the stones, the pumas, guinea pigs, and all the creatures of the land climbed towards the high places. As they got higher into the mountains, the llama called out to the condors in their ancient language about Mama Cocha and the flood, and they too started their journey to Huilcacoto. Just below the condor's nest, though, a family of foxes poked their heads out of their den. "Why are you making all of this noise out here?" they said. "Mama Cocha, the mother of the waters, warned me. A flood is coming, so we are all going to Huilcacoto," the llama said. But the foxes laughed. "There is no flood, Yamacha," they said. So the llama, the family, and all the animals, except for the foxes, continued their journey toward the very tall mountain. But just as the llama had predicted, the water began to rise. It filled the low fields, it covered the roads, it climbed the hillsides. Soon, even the foxes saw that the llama had told the truth. They ran up Huilcacoto as fast as they could, but the flood was already at their heels. The tips of their tails dipped into the water, and from that day on, foxes had tails with tips that were a different color. At last, the family and the animals reached the top of Huilcacoto. Below them, the whole world was water. And then, as if that wasn't enough, the sky grew dark. The sun disappeared, and the animals trembled. "Has Inti, the sun, gone forever?" they cried. But the llama lifted his head and said, "Do not be afraid. Inti is only resting. The sun will return." After a while, light came back over the mountains. "Inti is alive," the animals cried out. "The sun was resting during the flood," the llama said. "Now that it is done resting, Inti will shine for us during the day, and Mama Kia will shine in the cool night air." The waters began to recede, and the earth appeared again. The llama, the family, the animals, and even the foxes with their new tail tips came down from Huilcacoto into a changed world. And while llamas still listen while they graze to the sound of shepherds' flutes, no llama has spoken to a human since that time long ago. And people also remembered the llama's secret. Sometimes wisdom comes from the quiet one, the overlooked one, the one who feels the danger before anyone else can see it. And so the people learn to listen. That's our story. And now it is time to send them out through the bridge of love. Please own your personal space, and if you're new, just follow along.
Good morning. I am Worship Associate Dina Olivas. Each Sunday, this congregation gives away our entire collection, gifting it to an organization doing meaningful work in the larger community or to funds that support people in our own church. The practice is one way of us valuing our lives It is a way we can give from our hearts to build a better world today and for the future. Folks in the sanctuary can text to give by following the number on the screen, or can drop a check or cash in the box at the back of the sanctuary, either during the offertory, music, or after the service. Our offering today goes to our very own Lift Up Your Voice Motel Fund. This fund is often used as a person moves from homelessness to finally getting housing. It can be a long process working with social workers and housing authority, and this process is even more difficult if the person is unhoused. A couple of nights in a motel room can ease the stress and make sure that people are ready to take the final steps in the arduous process of going from homelessness to a home. The fund was most recently used when a mom and daughter, hoping to find housing but currently living in a tough shed, they were facing an incident of domestic violence. Our motel fund provided a room so that the mom and daughter could get away from a bad situation, and also to have time long enough to get some rest and to get some information and referrals. Please give generously as you always do.
All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground.
And inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds we sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Pulling weeds and picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. Need a place to call our own, 'cause the time is close at hand.
Grain for grain, sun and rain, we'll find our way in nature's chain. Take our bodies and our brains to the music of the land.
Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds we sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Plant our rows straight and long, temper them with a prayer and a song. Mother Earth will make us strong if we give her love and care.
Old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In our garden we're as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, please bless these seeds we sow. Please keep them safe below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Till the rain comes tumbling down.
Of this congregation helps create a more just and loving world. For this, we thank you.
Now is the time in this service where we take a few moments to pause and share some of the joys and sorrows that are shaping our lives right now. We'll place stones in water as we read each joy and sorrow, and each stone carries a small piece of what's being carried. As it touches the surface, ripples move outward, reminding us how connected we are to one another. If you have a joy or sorrow and you would like to share it, please submit it through the link on our website or through the UUVC email on Thursdays. And if it's received by 8 o'clock Saturday evening, it'll most likely be shared that Sunday. And now, if you would like to speak into the silence of the sanctuary, any names of those that you wish to memorialize or need the loving embrace of this beloved community, please do that now. Pastor Erik will now place one final stone in the water for all that has been spoken and for all that remains quietly held in our hearts. May we carry the joys and sorrows that are spoken here and those held silently into the world, grounding us in love and in healing.
Please remain seated as we join each other in singing our meditation hymn, Ubi Caritas.
Today's reading is from the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu, chapter 2. Under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good only because there is evil. Therefore, having and not having arise together. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short contrast each other. High and low rest upon each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Front and back follow one another. Therefore, the sage goes about doing nothing, teaching no talking. The 10,000 things rise and fall without cease. Creating, yet not possessing. Working, yet not taking credit. Work is done, then forgotten. Therefore, it lasts forever.
I invite you now into a time of meditation. Place your feet upon the floor, close your eyes if you wish, and breathe in and breathe out. Noticing your breath both as it comes in and it goes out. Breathe in and feel the weight of the world. Breathe out and let go of that pain. Breathe in and feel the love of this community. Breathe out and feel stress leave your body. Breathe in and cry with the sacred. Breathe out and laugh with the sacred. Know that as you breathe, the sacred breathes with you. Relax in this moment and just breathe.
I'm writing a new ending with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined. And though I won't get back a day of stolen time, I could go to bed at night with a better storyline. Leave what can't be changed in the past. Let the old house burn down and the wind scatter the ash. Forgive myself for all the broken glass, for what I didn't know how to say or ask.
I'm writing a new ending with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined.
And
Though I won't get back a day of stolen time, I can go to bed at night with a better storyline. Here's the page where I lost my map, where the breadcrumbs blew away, and there was no way back. Just the compass of my heart to find the path, seen only in the dark. Flash to lightning flash. I'm writing a new ending with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined. And though I won't get back a day of stolen time, I can go to bed at night with a better storyline.
There are stories shaped like stones, the ones our hearts have always known, the ones we finally call our own. Down where the spirit meets the bone, I'm ending where another story starts. edges I can grow, even when they're razor sharp. I'm grateful for the word that I bookmarked before I really knew I'd need them for this part. I'm
A new standing with a better storyline. Turn the page and leave the blanks with a plot that's less defined.
And
Though I won't get back a day of stolen time, I could go to bed at night with a better storyline.
Right, so I promised that I would use the clicker. I am going to. One thing about it is it has a laser pointer. See, it works. If you look over there on the wall, or I could, if there were kids or cats here, put it on the floor and move it around. But here's the thing, watch. What? It doesn't work on the TV. Daryl knew and he didn't tell me. I'll go to Daryl next time. Okay, so today, TBD, trust, balance, and discernment. Ooh. How communities hold trust, balance competing needs, and discern sacred and faithful next steps. So, Joe's here today, usually watches on Zoom. There he is in the back. He's going to talk to us about the budget today. Subtitle here is Talking About the Budget Without Talking About the Budget. Here's the thing about this, though. This isn't going to be just about the budget anyways, right? This concept of trust, balance, and discernment, or today's beloved discussion. Turns out you can make TBD into lots of acronyms. Trust, balance, and discussion don't just have to do with us talking about the budget or the annual meeting coming up. This is how we can approach everything. Now, is it through the lens of the budget today? Yes, just to give us a way to talk about it. But think about this concept as something more than that. Don't just set it aside because we're not thinking about the budget in a month or whatever. Well, we will be in a month. The month after that. So a key premise is that a budget or any single thing is not the whole story of a congregation. It is one expression of what we value, what we protect, and what we hope to become. It's just one thing, but we still have to talk about it. So, some ways that we can think about moving into places of trust and balance and discernment is we can begin with trust, not with anxiety. If you bring anxiety into the room, anxiety comes out of you. When you ask questions, they're from a place of fear, anxiety. And part of that is we can name the real tensions that are going on without centering fear. So trying to leave the fear behind while we name the thing. And naming it can help. And we have to balance our mission with care for ourselves and the community and sustainability for the church as a whole. And finally, discern sacred next steps together. So we're going to talk about all of those things. Budgets translate shared values into operational choices. So that's what a budget does. It translates our values into the things that we do. Because without a budget, you can't do a lot of things. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, because it was hard to grab the glass, this is not a new injury. I injured my elbow, cubital tunnel, 30 plus years ago, had surgery 2.5 years ago, then got golfer's elbow, and this is supposed to stop me from irritating the golfer's elbow. And it's hard to pick up the glass, so if I drop it, there we are. I don't golf, but they call it golfer's elbow. Okay, trust. Trust is what holds communities together. Without trust, you're just a group of random people hanging out together. What builds trust? One thing, transparency. To have transparency, we need to share realities with honesty. We can't talk about things and hide them behind euphemisms or not say them at all, because then we're not being transparent. We have to explain trade-offs clearly. So instead of saying, we're going to do this thing and not mention the fact that if we do this thing over here, that this thing over here is going to go by the wayside, that's not helpful either. So what we have to do is when we're communicating about anything, explain what we're giving up for what we're getting. And we want to reduce rumor and ambiguity. So instead of whispering about something, go ask somebody directly who knows about it. And if something is ambiguous when it's presented to you, ask a question to get through the ambiguity and get to what the truth of the matter is. Reliability. We follow through on our commitments. And hopefully you're seeing that this is not just applicable to the budget. Clearly this is everyday stuff. We follow through on our commitments. When we say we're going to do something, we do our best to do it. And if we can't do it, we do our best to let the person know, I cannot get this done. I work on that. Connect decisions to the mission. So when we do things, when we make decisions about things, we should be able to tie those things back to what our purpose is. Whether it's a small committee or it's the whole church, or whether or not it's just 2 people going for a hike. Steward resources responsibly. So anytime that we're thinking about the resources of this church, this group of people, this community, we should be responsible in how we approach those resources because they are shared resources. They come from all of us and they're used among all of us. Belonging. That's another part of trust, feeling like you belong. If you don't feel like you belong, it's hard to know whether or not somebody's talking to you with honesty. And part of that is letting people feel heard and listening to them. It's not just letting them feel like you're listening. Really let them know that you're listening. We should be honoring different experiences, not just experiences, but also where we come from, who we are, the ways that we've lived our lives. When we honor that, people feel like they belong. And keep conversations relational. Don't just talk as if the person across the table from you is somebody at a business, because they're not. They're people who are members of this congregation as well. And so when we talk to them with respect. We treat them with dignity. And that's how we should talk to people all the time. Okay, so the llama. There was a purpose. What's the llama's secret? It listens. It listens to things. And what's our secret? That we're going to listen to people. The llama listens, and at first, the shepherd, the farmer, he wasn't listening. The llama was behaving totally differently, and he didn't get it. And then when he finally listened, the llama told him exactly what was going on. And now llamas don't talk anymore. The world would be more entertaining if they did. Okay, trust grows when people experience candor, consistency, and care. Those are the 3 things there along the top: transparency, reliability, and belonging. That's how it is. It's all built. Balance. Holding competing needs without false simplicity. So Instead of saying it's easy, we have to name when it's going to be difficult. If we're making choices and one is a difficult choice, we don't pretend like that choice is suddenly easy just because we've made it. We just make the choice and we talk about it honestly. All right, so what is part of balance is mission. We fund what most clearly serves our purpose. And again, this is about the budget today, but it isn't just about the budget. It's about, because time's pretty limited. We have to make choices with our time. And so we do the things that are most closely aligned both with our own personal interests and what the mission of the church is. People. We care for our staff and congregants and the wider community. We have to balance the needs of people with the needs of everything else that goes into being a church. Facilities. We have to maintain the physical systems that support all of the different ministries. The mission and the people, we have to do all of that. And if you let that go, then you're meeting somewhere else because there's no more building. And the future. We have to preserve flexibility for emerging needs and for long-term health. We have to be able to make changes as we go forward, not just in the budget, but in everything that we do, so that we can meet whatever new things are happening, and we can try to make this a place where people want to come who haven't been here before and grow into the future. So, here we go. Now you're going to see a pattern. Now something appears on the screen that isn't just a PowerPoint presentation. It's what Dina read. It's the second chapter of the Tao Te Ching. And if I had a laser pointer, I would probably point at the middle section there where it talks about the balance, right? Having and not having arise together. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short, high and low, voice and music. I think that would be front and back. And then at the bottom there, it says, work is done, then forgotten, therefore it lasts forever. I think forgotten is not maybe how we should interpret it. The work that we do, it's not about forgetting it, but it's about letting go and moving on to the next thing and not holding on to what we did previously. All right, we have another one, another chapter, chapter 77. And this one is like a bookend to chapter 2. It's the same thing. I think it just gets maybe a little more spiritual about it. At the beginning, Lao Tzu is talking about a bow. And if you think about it, as you pull on a bowstring, the bow compresses. And if you turn it sideways, I was thinking, what happens if you... Oh, it goes left to right. It comes in this way. It doesn't matter which way you hold it. The bow gets... It becomes... Well, it's always balanced. Maybe that's the point. And then in the middle... He gets very explicit about the fact that, you know, the true Tao takes from those who have too much, you might think billionaires, and gives to those who don't have enough, the rest of us, if we were going to think kind of with what's going on in the world today. But then he points out that humankind's way is different, that we tend to take from those who don't have enough and give to those who have too much already. He's talking about kind of a human instinct and the fact that sometimes we have to let go of that and move more towards the sacred that he's talking about there, what the Tao is intending for the world. And what person has more than enough and gives it to the world? Only a person of the Tao. So balance is not splitting everything equally. It is allocating attention and resources in proportion to purpose and need. And again, not just about the budget. It's about time. It's about what we are good at, the talent, and it's about the budget. Discernment. Discernment is certainly in a space that is a church, a sacred decision lens. It's about taking the time to figure out what to do, to go into a process of discernment. We use it in ministry when we're thinking about becoming ministers. It's called discernment. What did we talk about at the meeting with the workshop with Sarah a few weeks ago, Reverend Sarah? We talked about going into next year a time of discernment about what the church wants in the future in terms of me being here. What is the best thing for the church? What do I want? And really examining that. That's discernment. And when it comes to the budget, same thing. We apply the sacred decision lens of discernment to decide what it's all about and what we want to spend it on and what's important. So, what's this process? The process is to first notice what's actually happening right now. Kind of like Tolstoy's 3 questions. We're going back to that whole thing right here. Who's the most important person and what are we going to do about it? After we notice it, we interpret it. What values, risks, and hopes are present in the observation that we made. Then we have to choose what best aligns with mission and responsibility, and that's really the key. That's the action item in discernment. And then we commit. How will we all act together with integrity in that moment? We've made a decision as a group, as a community. Not everyone votes yes. But we still have to have integrity with each other. What is discernment not? Discernment is not about going with our impulsive desires. It's about spending the time to think about something deeply. It's not avoidance. It's not about if there is a problem, not discussing it. It's about bringing it out into the open and talking about it and naming it. And like I said at the beginning, it's not decision-making by fear or anxiety. It's about having information, about talking, about asking questions, about trusting that those around us are doing the right thing. So we have to remember what it's not as much as we have to remember what it is. So in the Vipulasa Sutra, I kind of adapted it. There's two sections in it, and they're split by a little bit of storytelling. But the basic gist of it is, if you perceive impermanence as permanence, meaning you see things that are impermanent and assume that they're forever, suffering is happiness, not self as self, ugliness is beauty, then we're being ruined by a wrong view of things. We have to see things as they are, which is part of that integrity and trust. And then it gets flipped on its head, of course, because that's the nature of these kinds of pithy writings, is seeing impermanence as impermanence, so seeing it as it really is, suffering as suffering, and naming everything as it actually is taking up right view. And we've risen above all suffering then, from a Buddhist perspective. So sacred discernment joins practical wisdom with moral or ethical clarity. So it's joining the practical with the mission. That's what it's all about. So, again, talking about the budget without talking about the budget. What does this all mean? It means that when we are thinking about things like the budget, or at an annual meeting if you're working on a bylaw or something like that, or you're just having a discussion with somebody, there's different ways to frame things. So instead of only asking what can we afford, we can ask what are we called to support? Instead of asking what must be cut, we can ask what supports and nurtures the congregation, which is just a different way of reframing it into what actually is going to move us forward. Which risks are part of our how do we avoid risk? Instead, ask which risks are part of our mission and which risks are not. Because some risks are worth taking. How do we get through the next year? Instead, say, what future are we building together? And how are we going to build it? Budget matters because values must eventually become concrete. It's how we live those values as a community in a shared space into the world. So TBD, think, breathe, decide. Be thankful that we are able to have this meeting, take a deep breath, and participate in the decision-making process. Enter meetings, including this one and the annual meeting, grounded in trust. Look for balance in things, not for perfection. Let our mission guide any hard choices that we have to make. And treat financial conversations as shared ministry. So we're not gathering, as it says at the bottom, only to manage numbers in a spreadsheet. We're deciding together how to best sustain the life of this congregation. You might think I could end it there. That's great. No, we have a llama. And what do we listen to? We listen when the llama, you want me to do it loud or soft? Een. That's their distress cry. And when a llama does that, it means there's a mountain lion nearby or something. So when we hear something, we listen to it. And that's what I want you to take away, is when you hear something, listen to it. And also, if you have something to say, I hope that we are listening to you. May it be so. Be Shamaleh, and blessed be.
Well, I trust you'll all join me as we sing our last hymn, When the Spirit Says Do.
hope that after the service is over and the chalice has been extinguished and the pastor has shared his benediction, you will follow the crowd into Berg Hall, where you'll find coffee, tea, bagels, and most of all, good conversation and fellowship. There's a connecting table where folks are sitting there just waiting to welcome you and have a conversation. There's a sign above the table, so look for it if you're interested. And if you haven't already but would like to contribute to today's offering, the box is in the back of the sanctuary, and we hope you'll deposit what you would like. The last thing is, after Berg Hall, stay for the presentation here in the sanctuary. I know it's been worked on and it's well prepared.
And now, please join me in reading the words on the screen as we prepare to extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment, those we carry into our lives until we are together again.
Today we learned something about llamas. We learned that while llamas still listen while they graze to the sound of the shepherd's flutes, no llama has spoken to a human since that time long ago. And we also remember the llama's secret. Sometimes wisdom comes from the quiet one, the overlooked one, the one who knows the danger before anyone else can see it. And so we learn to listen. Blessed be Bishamaleh, and Amen.
purposeful